All right, so this is going to be my 2024-2025 Week 2 NBA Power Rankings after 1 week of the NBA season. Let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with our injuries here, I'll get it out of the way. So basically all the black ones are the existing injuries, and I updated, the weeks in parentheses for how long they're going to be gone. And then the red are the new injuries. So what's new is that James Wiseman's injured for the season. Stephen Curry's injured for at least a couple of games. Taylor Hendricks injured for the season. And DeJounte Murray is going to be injured for about 4 to 6 weeks. So now will be our top performances here. So this is a whole lot of stuff going on here. You guys can kind of just look at that yourself. I'm not really going to go over much. So yeah, now we're getting started here. Number 30, we do got the Utah Jazz. I'm gonna get back on here for you guys. Um, that should work. Number 30 is the Utah Jazz. They're 0-3. Couple bad games this week. Lost to the Warriors by 40. So they have not looked good so far, and they just lost Taylor Hendricks. Pistons at 29. They are 0-4. A couple of close games so far against the Pacers, Cavs, Celtics, Heat. All their games are within 12 points, but they're still 0-4, so they jump up a few spots. Wizards, they jump up a couple spots. They have a win already. They're 1-2. They actually beat the Hawks, who are looking like a decent team, so not too bad here. For the Wizards, number 27 is the Brooklyn Nets. They're 1-2. They had a good win against the Milwaukee Bucks, a close loss versus the Hawks, and then a loss versus the Magic. That Bucks win is doing looks really good for them right now. Trying to get the sun to not glare on the video, but that's not working well right now. That'll work. Number 26 is going to be the Portland Trailblazers here. They are 1-3. They're going to drop a few spots here. They lost to the Warriors by 35. Then they had a 2-point loss to the Pelicans, followed by a 20-point win versus the Pelicans, then a 13-point loss versus the Kings. So besides that very first game, they've actually looked pretty solid. 25 is going to be the Toronto Raptors. They're 1-3 right now. They've had a lot of close games. 11-point loss versus the Timberwolves is pretty good. A 2-point loss to the Nuggets is good, but they did get blown out by the Cavs. But they also beat a good Sixers team. 24 is going to be the Charlotte Hornets here. So far this week, they're 1-2, obviously. They beat the Rockets, lost to the Hawks, and lost to the Heat in 2 close games. They've been very competitive in all 3 of their games so far. Number 23 is going to be the Atlanta Hawks. They're 2-2, but they do drop here a couple spots. A 4-point win versus the Nets and a 5-point win versus the Hornets. You're not scream like they're good wins. Those are like teams that you should be beating, and you should be beating them by more than 4 and 5 points. And then you lost to the Thunder by 20, and you lost to the Wizards, who are pretty bad. Spurs next up. They're going to drop 2 spots here. They are 1-2. Wemby has not looked great so far this season. He's still been great defensively, but I thought his offense would take a step up here with Chris Paul, but that has not happened yet. So far this week, they lost to the Mavs, lost to the Rockets, and they beat the Rockets once. And they also lost Trey Jones for 2 weeks on injury, so that definitely hurts him a little bit. Number 21 is going to be the Chicago Bulls. They jump up a lot of spots. They're 2-2 already. A good win versus the Bucks and a good win versus the Grizzlies, and 2 losses to the Pelicans and to the Thunder, who are both been solid teams so far. Good start to the season for Chicago. Number 20 here is going to be the Indiana Pacers. They do drop quite a bit of spots here. They are 1-3 right now, not looking great. They had a solid start to this season, a lot of close games. A 4-point loss to the Sixers and 4-point loss to the Magic looks good, but they got blown out by the Knicks, barely beat the Pistons, and they lost James Wiseman for the rest of the season. Number 19 is going to be the 76ers. They do drop 10 spots. They're 1-2. Joel Embiid has not played. I don't know. I don't think Joel Embiid's played yet. Paul George hasn't played yet, so they do need to get those guys healthy. They got blown out by the Bucks, lost to the Raptors, and had a 4-point win versus the Pacers. Tyrese Maxey's been really good for them. 18 is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. They dropped 12 spots. They're 1-3. Not looking very good so far this season. They did beat the Sixers. Again, the Sixers were depleted. They lost to the Suns by 12. Wait, sorry. They lost to the Bulls by 11, the Nets by 13, and the Celtics by 11. So the Nets and Bulls are games they should be winning, and they didn't win. So that's why they're going to drop here quite a bit of spots. Number 17 is going to be Sorry, I'm trying to get the sun out of my face, but I'm about to just give up on that. That'll work. Fine, I give up. I don't need I don't need to be seen, really. I'm just gonna get my face out here then. Number 17. Sorry about that. Number 17 is New Orleans Pelicans at 2-1. They look pretty solid here to start the season. DeJounte Murray did get injured for about a month at least, which definitely hurts them there a little bit. But they beat the Bulls and the Blazers. Um, so been really solid. They did lose to the Blazers a second time, but they still looked pretty good. 16 Houston Rockets, 2-2, decent start to the season here. For them, they lost to the Hornets, but then they beat the Grizzlies by 20, barely lost to the Spurs, and then played them again and beat the Spurs. So, solid start for the Rockets. Number 15 is the Warriors. Buddy Hield has looked amazing to start the season for them. He had like a 27-point game and only 19 minutes of playing time or something like that. Absolutely insane. They dominated the Blazers and Jazz, and then they lost to the Clippers this week, so not a bad week at all. 14 is going to be the Miami Heat. They started 2-1. Um, they got dominated by the Magic, but then had good wins against the Hornets and Pistons to follow that up. 13 is the Memphis Grizzlies here. They've had a solid start to this season. Beat the Jazz, dominated the Magic, lost to the Bulls, and got dominated by the Rockets, though. Number 12 here is going to be the Denver Nuggets. They dropped 9 spots. They're 1-2 right now. Not a good start for them. Lost to the Thunder by 15, the Clippers by 5, and then they barely beat the Raptors by 2 points in overtime. So, I mean, it's not a horrible start here for the Denver Nuggets. The Thunder are a good team. The Clippers have been playing good so far, but still their bench has been very, very concerning so far. Number 11, Dallas Mavericks. They're going to drop 4 spots here. They're 2-1, but they beat the Spurs by 11, lost to the Suns by 12, and then then beat the Jazz by only 8. The Spurs and Jazz are not very good teams, and they only won by 11 and 7 points. So you would like to see them win those games more convincingly going forward. Number 10 is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. I think they're the biggest riser, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they moved up 12 spots this week. They looked really, really good here without Kawhi Leonard playing for them. James Harden's been great. Norman Powell's been great. Ibaka Zubac has been great. They lost to the Suns by 3 points overtime, so not a bad loss at all. They beat the Nuggets, and they beat the Warriors by 8 points. So really good start here. They look like a very competitive team. I wanted to note that PJ Tucker is currently not with the team. That was kind of expected, but again, he would be a solid rotational piece if he wanted to play, but he does not want to be in LA. Number 9 is going to be the Sacramento Kings. They are 1-2 right now. They've had very competitive games so far. So even though they have a losing record right now, I did move them up 1 spot. They lost to the Timberwolves by 2, the Lakers by 4, and they beat the Blazers by 13. Timberwolves and Lakers are 2 of the best teams right now so far this season, and they've played them very, very tightly. So I do think they're still really good. Number 8 is the New York Knicks. They dropped 4 spots. Got embarrassed in the opening game of the season by 23-point loss to the Celtics. They beat the Wizards by 20. The Pistons. Oh wait, sorry. Shoot, wrong team again. They beat the Pacers by 25 immediately after that. So dominated by the Knicks, then they go dominated by the Celtics, then they go dominate the Pacers, and then they lost by 6 points to the Cavaliers, who are a really good team so far as well. So the Knicks still do look pretty good. Number 7 is going to be the Orlando Magic. They jump up 9 spots here after starting 3-1. Paolo Banchero has easily looked the top 10 player right now. He just put up 50 points in their last game. So far this season, they beat the Heat by 20, beat the Nets by 15, beat the Pacers by 4, and their only loss is to the Grizzlies by 13. So they have looked really good, and Paolo looks amazing. Number 6, Minnesota Timberwolves. They dropped 1 spot. They're 2-1. They looked solid here, certainly to start the season. A 7-point loss to the Lakers was their only loss. Then they have a 2-point win versus the Kings, who are good, and an 11-point win versus the Raptors. Number 5 here is going to be the Phoenix Suns. They jump up 3 spots, started 3-1. A good start for them. A 3-point win in overtime versus the Clippers, who look like a good team right now, so that's definitely a good win. A 7-point loss to the Lakers, not too bad there. A 12-point win versus the Mavs is good, and then they play the Lakers again and beat them by 4. So they looked really good so far. Number 4 is going to be the Lakers. They're 3-1. Them and the Suns played each other twice, and they split both of those, but the Lakers had a higher point differential there, so that's why the Lakers are going to be just one spot ahead of them. The Lakers did jump up 9 spots. They looked really, really good. A 7-point win versus a good Timberwolves team, a 7-point win versus a good Suns team, and a 4-point win versus a good Kings team. And then again, their only loss was a 4-point loss versus that good Suns team once again. They looked really good. Anthony Davis is looking very, very dominant right now. Number 3 is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of 3 undefeated teams, so I feel like they have to kind of be in the top 3, especially because they've played a couple tough teams already. Well, I guess they've really just played one tough team, but they dominated the Raptors by 30, beat the Pistons by 12, dominated the Wizards by 20, and then beat a good Knicks team by 6 points. So they played some bad teams, and they've dominated. Then they played a good team in the Knicks and still took care of business. Number 2 is going to be the OKC Thunder. They're 3-0. Again, I can't really drop them right now where they were. They beat a good Nuggets team by 15, beat the Bulls by 20, and beat the Hawks by 20. They've looked dominant so far. Chet Holmgren has been amazing for them. And number 1 here is going to be the Boston Celtics, of course. Sorry, they should be number 1 here. They were number 1 last week. I just had to search that for you guys. But they're definitely the number 1 team in the league right now. They're 4-0. Dominated the Knicks by 20, beat the Wizards by 20, beat the Pistons only by 6, which is a little concerning. But then they go ahead and beat the Bucks right after that by 11. So they still look very, very dominant. And this is all without Kristaps Porzingis. Peyton Pritchard has been amazing here for the Celtics. That is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for an updated power rankings list. And make sure to check out my NFL videos as well. Goodbye.